This week on the Push Wallows podcast, we talk about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, and are sports science degrees really worth it?
Three, two, one. Stop looking at my balls, Dan.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Wallows podcast with myself, Damik.
And me and my balls, Tom Hall.
Tom is next to a stack of golf balls. That's where his very crude, immature joke came from.
Lol. I moved my desk around slightly. By moving my desk around, I flipped over, didn't flip off. I flipped over my big screen to my little screen, and I moved it to the side. So the background, you can see my balls. But then I have also realised that I probably should do this for YouTube, and content. But this looks like an absolute shit state. Behind me. Yes. There's some little Lego men there. There's a lot of alcohol here. I don't really drink at home, as you can see. There's a football. No, it's really
football.
It is Champions League football. Oh, there we go. One. Some slush puppy things, and you see a dumping ground. Doesn't look too. It looks really bad on camera, but it's just like a couple of rucksacks and two boxes. But it looks awful.
Looks like you just dumped shitloads of
I
stuff
know.
down there, mate.
Bad, isn't it? So I should probably just move my golf course. My golf club's there. Let's do that. You talk to most of yourself.
I don't think your golf clubs are going to look much better, to be honest, because they look a bit messy. That's why I used to have my golf clubs behind me here. I moved them. We've got two pictures to replace it, and they look a little bit better. Yeah, I don't think it looks much better, mate, to be honest. I think we like golf clubs, but I don't know if it looks much better. It's still a bit messy, really.
Yeah. Everybody can look at my stealth, can't they?
Yeah, your stealth that goes out of bounds all the time. Yeah,
mate, grow up. You're just scared of my length in more ways than one. Dan.
Enough for the innuendos, mate. Come on, you don't need them. It's a children's show.
It's definitely not. I have to click that on YouTube. All right. What's been happening in your world, mate? Rumor has it you're coming over to the UK to embrace the chill.
I am, unfortunately. I think by the time people listen to this, I'll be on a plane flying over, or maybe you've already landed. But I will be on my way because we've got our event on Friday, so got that, and then we've got a photo shoot on Sunday with the lads as well. So Jake and Jake,
lads.
So we've got a Saturday with them as well, just to piss around and do fuck all, which would be nice. And then I just got a week of check-ins, and then before I fly back. Good, mate. Golf's good. I had a few good rounds of golf, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. Which I'm just quite annoyed about the fact I'm leaving now because I feel like I'm in a good run of things. But all good with that. Can't complain. What else is new? Really, nothing else. Nothing else is new, mate. Just same old stuff. Grinding on through. Got a couple of weeks off over Christmas to look forward to, which would be nice. So just looking at planning as much golf as I can for them. Probably gonna try and get to Yaslings a couple of times, over Christmas.
So I'm slightly jealous because everywhere I'm going is just going to be cold. I will not be a dance event because I am in Hamburg this weekend, so that's very exciting.
Even if you were around, mate, you wouldn't want to come anywhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't if it's fucking too far north for me. Nosebleeds. Yeah. I don't like.
I think actually what I might do is I might go to Yas Links on Boxing Day actually, and I might post it on Boxing Day to show while everyone else is freezing cold Boxing Day, I'll be on one of the best golf courses.
Well, I'll be going from London, Essex, and then I'm going to Boston, which is even colder. So pretty done. I won't be playing golf
Boxing Day.
I'm going on the day after Boxing Day. I think Boxing Day is very traditional for me. It's football with my dad. Which I quite enjoy. That's good fun. It's good laugh with the old man. Then you got
New Year out there.
New Year's out there, correct.
Very
I'm gonna
nice.
set it up Trump style. Woo! That's
nice,
what we're doing. We're going Trump style over there. No, just obviously not in-laws, are they? But you know what I mean. Over there, go see peeps.
Yeah, that have a lot.
The
rabble. Nice, mate.
Very exciting. Well, what I can do is go see the Boyles. The Boyles, my Boyle crew. Hopefully they might remember me. I don't know. I feel like I might. I know. I think I want to move when I'm out there. So I think they'll let me come and join a session. I'm gonna get absolutely smoked. I'll go in there adults high school or high school year 3 session. and all the kids will be stronger than me. So
100%.
well, there's a few gyms, isn't there? There's Crezzy's. I've never been to that one. There's Total Gentle Cause. He might let me in his one. And Mike Boyle would let me in his one. So I'll probably have to ask Kevin Carr more than first, but we'll see. There's a lot of Boston boys up there, isn't there, that we've associated with in the
I'd
past.
say good selection of gyms up in Boston, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, really good. Anybody wants to go, I think they've just got like a lot of industry leaders, which is very odd where it is. But it is cold. It is really cold. I'm gonna see if there's any games on. There should be games. Does basketball exist then?
Yeah, right in the middle of the season, mate. At that point,
Beautiful. I'm gonna go see the Celtics.
Yeah, Boston Celtics. They'll be decent. They will at that time.
Yeah. Go see.
I think they're playing well, actually.
Yeah. I wouldn't know.
There's been some shocks though in the NBA. Like Philadelphia 76ers are not looking good right now.
Oh no. Are they now the 74ers? They've lost that many points.
Well, yeah.
They're losing points.
Like
does Tucko play for Celtics?
Tucko Fall? No.
Yeah. I thought he did.
Not
did he previously?
Oh. He did, yeah. So mate, you've got a choice of you've got loads of home games. You've got Indiana at home on the Saturday the 28th, Indiana at home on the 30th, Toronto at home on the 1st of Jan, and then they start a road trip away from the 1st of Jan, from the 3rd of Jan to the 8th. So you got to get in there quick.
Nice. I'll go to one of those Indiana games then. Who's better actually out of the Indiana and the Torontos?
Probably Indiana, yeah. Yeah, I'd go watch one of those if I was you, Saturday or Monday.
Because I lucked out the last time I was there, and they were playing against, I don't know who it was, but Luka Doncic was playing. He's quite good.
He is very good. Yes, he is. Yeah, I think it'll be expensive because it's obviously during the holidays, but it'll still be worth going.
It'll still be worth going. Get the nosebleed seats and then gradually walk down. I don't care. There for the vibes, and
Jason Tatum, mate. That's what you want. Jason Tatum.
Jason Statham.
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum. I don't know who that is. Sure.
He's their best player.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's the Raheem Sterling. He's the Cole Palmer. The Cole Palmer of that.
More like Cole Palmer, yeah, I'd say.
Cole Palmer. Excellent. But football's back as well, which is fantastic.
I fucking hate the international break.
It's so shit.
International football to just cease to exist. I think it's
so boring.
I genuinely don't think it's necessary. I just think that they should just, and I know why FIFA do it is because they make all their money from it. But they need to seriously look at it and go, they're destroying football as a product, like by doing it, because no one watches international games. No one gives a shit about them. No one cares. The players drop out all the time because it's not that important.
Can you see that? Like 9 players dropped out.
I actually think that the World Cup and the European Championships will get more people watching it if they happen less. If international games happen less frequently. Which sounds weird, but I think they would, because I think players would turn up more. I think they'd actually give a shit more. And I'm all for like the international teams having training camps so they can get together and work out how they're going to play and stuff. But that's what it needs to be. I just think they're just ruining it. It just winds me up. The international break winds me right up.
Anyway, football's back. Thank fuck. I had to sort my fantasy team yesterday. In my league of records, I had to do some trades.
Oh, I've made three transfers this week.
All right. Nice. All right, we've got some stuff to talk about. I do want Dan's opinion. Fucking hell, that sounds bad to say. On
my opinion.
On my next challenge, which I will be filming tomorrow. Or today, as it is. So I think we're gonna workshop this every single time. I think I'm always gonna leave about a week in between each challenge. So I want, I think, always about 7 to 14 days. So a 2-week run. So it's day 1, day 2, day 3. Because it's about that buy-in, people looking for it. That's what it wants, Dan. So there's not a coincidence that my viewership on my Instagram went up by another 15,000. From when you put that up. So I was like, and then and the YouTube's climbing as well. So that's about up to 72 hours, I think, over the last week. So
people obviously want to see you do exercises with weirdos, but actually make it only 50. Weirdos. Obviously want to see that.
I knew that was going to come out. So I had a few things for this, because obviously, like, Dan's had the gripe. So number one issue was someone had an issue with the farmer's carry, which I had 50 kilos in each hand, and I was like, look, I wouldn't be able to put 100 kilos in one hand, so that's not happening.
What's the fucking gripe with that? It's 100 kilos.
I was like, it's 100 kilos. I'm walking around with it. Fucking crack on. Your gripe
that's like saying, oh, on the push press, you only had what, two 20-kilo plates each side. Well, yeah.
No, somebody said that on YouTube. They were like, explain to me how you've only got two 20s on each side, and how is that 100 kilos? And then face question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I just wrote, well, the 20-kilo barbell kind of gives it away. I don't not going to do the rest of the maths. Whoever, all right, coaches, whoever writes their weights in their programs as 80 kilos plus barbell, it's not a thing. It's fucking, you got a 15-kilo barbell or a 20-kilo barbell. Pretty much gospel, okay? 15-kilo are the thinner ones. Generally not, well, they're seen as female barbells, but they're the ones that females compete with in the Olympics when they're doing body lifting. It's fine because they have smaller hands. So yeah, that's it. Stupid. So Dan's gripe, which I totally get. I gave I'll give myself half a point. I could retract it. But obviously in the heat of the moment, Dan, I don't know what's happening. So the dynamic chop. And I had a few people saying, I'm just here for the chop video. I just want to see that ridiculousness of it and see you fail. The thing only went up to 60 kilos. And I decided to flip it to 100 pounds instead of 100 kilos.
Cheating, basically. Yeah. That's kind of what it is, Tom. You cheated. Yeah. I mean, come on then. What's the next thing, mate?
So we're gonna workshop your idea, mate, of 100 meters in the gym.
Okay, 100 meters in the gym.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna workshop the 100 meters. So at the moment, I want to get it to a nice round number of 10. So I do need to work. But the issue is, mate. The issue is, if I do this in two halves, I probably will do. Okay. Shot peek behind the curtain. I don't film it once every single day, like some people think. Idiots. By the way, if you're doing content and you're filming one thing each time you do content, what are you doing? Fucking hell. It takes so long to set up, so long to do anything else. It's like, batch it, please. Anyway. It's like, what? No way. Just like Good, right? They do Good week. They record all their fucking videos in 1 week.
Yeah.
So it's great. Oh, by the way, I would urge you, annoyingly so, but urge you to watch the Rick Shields Major. No.
Really?
It's actually good golf. I know, it's really annoying. Because the Bryan bros are on it. Oh. And George Bryan is legitimately like fucking good. He literally played on the PGA Tour the week before and then went and played that.
The Rick Shields YouTube Golf Major.
Yeah, they do 2-on-2. So it's 2-on-2-on-2. So Rick and Grant versus George Bryan and Peter Finch, and then Wes Bryan and Fat Perez. But I do like Fat Perez because Rick Shields hits a shot. I really wanted just to clip it and send it to you. Rick Shields hits a shot and then it sneaks through this tree and manages to get like almost on the fairway. And he's like, yep. And Pat Perez was just like, walks off, was like, there's the Rick Shields we know. Like, it's like, and he goes, risky, reckless, totally offline. Yeah. Just walked off. He was like, you've seen the videos. I just
don't know if I can watch 3 hours of fucking Rick Shields.
I know, it's a long time. I'm like halfway through because I'm doing back on my watt bike. But anyway, back onto the 100 meters. So the issue is my gym doesn't have that much cardio equipment because it's first and foremost a PT studio. So I do want to get on to like the recumbent bike and like the cross trainer. I think that'd be quite funny. But I don't have it readily available. So the ones I've got so far, so this is what I need your help with, Daniel. Okay, number one. So we got sled, 100 meters of sled, but I need to know what load. I don't know what load we're putting on that. I don't know whether it's high rocks load sounds a bit like meh, and I'm just doing a high rocks fucking thing. Or am I doing it as light as possible? So it's like a sprint, kind of move it as quick. Or am I doing like body weight? Am I going as heavy as
Why don't you do
possible?
100 kilos? Why don't you just do 100 kilos as like a standard?
Just the 100 kilo standard.
Yeah,
But
I think you
then,
should do a push and a pull. 100 meters push and 100-meter pull.
okay, pull sled, 100 kilos. When you say pull, as in like the rope pull and I'm static, or TRX pull and I'm moving it? I'm moving with the sled.
You're moving it with the sled, yeah.
So TRX pull.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And I'm going as fast as possible, correct?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of a 100-meter sprint.
Yeah.
As fast as possible. Walking lunges. I'm assuming this would be unloaded because that's just, but it has to be knee to floor. Body weight. That's fine. Bear crawls. You're like, I just want to see you cry. Then obviously we've got row machine, skier, assault bike, watt bike, running machine, and I've got farmer's carry on there. But I need
sled
to know.
push. What a sled pull.
Well, yeah, sled push, sled pull.
Oh, you've got that. You go. So
Yeah.
Push, pull, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I think farmer's
8,
carry needs to be 100
9,
kilos
10.
again. It needs to be 100 kilos for farmer's carry, which is going to be a lot.
That's a lot for.
But at the same time, it's only 10 lots of 10 meters. You got to kind of really do it.
Yeah,
as quickly as you can as well. As quickly as you can as well.
As long as I edit it to 90 seconds, don't care.
Yeah.
I guess I can speed it up, can't I, as well? That's the
you
thing. I
can
did
speed
do
the
it.
run,
I can be like
the
this. So I can.
I just think that anything like that with weight, I think you have to call it 100 kilos.
I have to, do it because I've set my stall out on the 100 kilo. That series will come back. That's fine. That series will come back soon. But yeah, we'll go for. So I've got 10 events. We'll keep the spin wheel happening. And we'll do it like that. And that will be tomorrow. Perfect. Nice. Sled push, sled pull, 100 kilos. Farms carry 100 kilos. Then we've got walking lunges, bear crawls, row machine, skier, assault bike, watt bike, running machine.
Oof. Yeah.
Beautiful. The one I'm curious about, the running machine is not self-powered, so it's slightly annoying. I'm just gonna have to crank it as quickly as it goes and then just jump on, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously I can take the time from either the clock on the camera, more than likely, and then just see how it goes. Because obviously I'm going to have it running and then take that time. So that'd be the easiest thing. Smart look. So people are like, how am I recording this? But I'm sure there's ways of doing it in post, isn't there? So
yeah. What about backwards running?
So Barry, on the treadmill?
Yeah.
No. I want to be able to. Then that's 11 things. I don't like 11. It's got to be 10 or 12. 10, 12, or 14, isn't it? Otherwise, I feel like it's not a nice round.
If you want to let everyone down, that's fine. I think backwards run. As fast as you can, but whatever.
No. If we're on a track, then maybe. But yeah, that's going to be like nobody normally. These are normal things we do in the gym. 100-meter race. No, cool. Right, done. Wonderful, thank you. You're my series consultant.
Easy as that.
All right, let's talk about a couple of things that we want to talk about. So that was one of the main ones. That was kind of some admin that I needed to do. Thank you. So let's do two main topics because Dan's got to get off to bed and pack and stuff. So we got to talk about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. I think that's got to be a thing, and we got to talk about that from maybe a perspective of not coaches, but we can put it in perspective, content and what people are doing and why the fuck they do it and all this kind of shit and why people are moany bitches and relay that into into real world. And I also want to talk about S&C degrees, Dan. Which it's only because so I've had a consult with a guy last week before. He actually used to be trained. I used to train him, so he's a semi-professional footballer. But he has most recent. So we talk about that first, S&C degrees, and then Jake Paul. So we'll keep that. Okay. So S&C degrees or sports science degrees, because both you and me did them. Okay. Let's be really blunt. Then we both went and did our master degrees, and you did yours in something, philosophy.
I just did an MPhil.
You did an MPhil.
Sports science there still. So
and then I did a MSc in sports performance and biomechanics. So we're very heavy into, let's say, university education. but we don't see it as the be all and end all apart from it. Okay. So let's just preface that. So I had a consultation. So as people know, I do a little bit of mentoring, but not to the extent that Dan does it. And Dan, I would say, only really does it on the business side. Okay. So I do mentoring on maybe the coaching quality educational side, as well as a little bit of business. But normally what happens is I just send those guys into Dan's group, and Dan has plenty of people that also work with me and also work with him. Believe it or not, what weirdos. Okay. So usually what happens is we get into a little topic when I have my mentor guys, but this lad is actually doing he's in final year of his sports science degree at, I think, Cardiff, which is, I think, is an okay university. But some people have left. So I think so Chris Toombs has left. He's not doing anything there anymore. There's Ian Jeffries has left. He's not doing anything there anymore. So they've lost a couple of like really good coaches, lecturers, names in their S&C world. And this obviously there's this whole kind of like, I'm an S&C coach. I'm really cool. Yeah, awesome. I'm angry at the world because personal trainers earn more money than me. Basically what happens. And so it was quite interesting to see when this lad's, I had a consult with him, and he was like, I want you to mentor me through the rest of my degree. And I was like, okay, it's not something I normally do. And he was like, yeah, but I can't stand the lecturers. They're fucking awful. The practical application is shite. I turn off, I switch off. I need something that I've got buy-in from because you've coached me before. We chat, we get on. And Chris Toombs is the guy who was mentoring before. He was like, he recommended me to go speak to you to like go do some stuff. I was like, okay, cool. I obviously need to know your fucking syllabus and look through what you're doing dissertation wise. And I haven't been in that world for quite a while. But then I started to he was like, I also want to like learn other stuff that's happening as I move into my S&C stuff. Okay. So therefore I put together a more bespoke kind of plan of like what I would see us moving on for month to month. We'd look at different topics, and then I'd start to open his eyes into the methodologies of Altis, CFFC, Exos, and like maybe rehab stuff that we wouldn't ever see in S&C degrees. So maybe PRI, FMS, maybe FRC stuff, all this kind of stuff that you don't get exposed to whatsoever. Okay. So we start to talk about that and be able to kind of upskill in every kind of way. Obviously, we've been doing this for what fucking 10, 12 years. So we probably would have seen it. So it begs the question then, is a sports science degree worth it?
No, not anymore. I think obviously we went into it, right, knowing that we wanted to go into professional sport, and you kind of had to do that. But to this day, I'm adamant that I really didn't learn that much through my degree. I think the thing that I believe having a degree taught me was being able to grow up and be an adult and live away from home and live on my own, right? That's the skill it gave you, I suppose. And I'm pretty sure my dad would be pretty disappointed to hear that that's probably all I took from it. But you know, I think it's probably cheaper ways to fucking learn how to get by in life and grow up and be an adult than going to university. But I genuinely think that the way the world is going, that they are soon to become obsolete for those sorts of courses. I think soon. I certainly know for a fact now that even, dare I say, even going into professional sports soon at some point, I think it's very much a case of I'd rather have someone who's hands-on, played the sport, did the sport, could make it in a sport, and then fucking went full on learning into everything around the anatomy, the physiology, and all that sort of stuff, which I don't think university taught me. I'll be honest, it taught you how to read a research paper and how to create a dissertation, how to create an argument, a scientific argument for or against certain things. And as we both know, when you're working with PT clients, it's not like that. And even with sports people, it's the same thing. It's no different than PT clients. It's the same thing. It's getting buy-in from that person you're working with. And it's understanding that individual and what might be best for them as they stand in front of you, not as what the research says or what this sort of stuff says. And I understand that a lot of these jobs might require a filtering system. I just think it's a really poor filtering system. I've seen many people come from university and get a degree in the thickest shit. I wouldn't trust to train my mum, never mind like professional athletes or anything like that. And it's just, I do think we had this conversation the other day, funny enough, about Isabel. We were talking about like what she might want to do, and someone asked me was like, "Oh, would you want her to go to university?" And I'm like, probably not. Like she can do what she wants, like it's fucking her. But I said I certainly felt a bit of pressure to go to university. I felt it was the only option.
Same. Yeah.
And I think that was just a generational thing. And I think that's when the bloated university courses came about. I feel like that's where all that sort of stuff happened. And it's really contracting now. I think we see it in the news. I think you see that universities are struggling with funding and all this sort of stuff because people just aren't bothering anymore. Quite rightly. Bit of a tangent, obviously, talk about sports science stuff like that. But I just think that when I look back now and I go, the amount of money I spent on those 3 years, if I'd have put all of that into proper shadowing, mentoring, qualifications that were actually hands-on and practical, I'd have been a far better practitioner coming out. Well, I wasn't a practitioner coming out of uni. I just wasn't. It's only because I'd spent those summers and that free time working in football clubs that when I came out of it, I kind of knew what I was getting into. And I understood very quickly that it wasn't about fucking degrees and knowledge. It was about whether that bloke there thought I was a good enough like personality to fucking listen to. I could see it a mile off when I started working in football. And it's the same in PT, right? We say it all the time. Don't speak science to people. Like you're speaking to a fucking human being that wants to know you give a shit and you know your stuff, and they'll stick around when you prove that you know your stuff by getting the results. And that's what it comes down to. And I think sport will go the same way. I think we're seeing that a lot with the analysts in the game as well now. I don't know how many of them have gone to uni, but I know that a lot of them are young. And I know that a lot of them have come through systems and done coaching badges more than they've done degrees. And they've just infiltrated the game because they've gone, hey, I've done all these coaching badges and hey, I'm really good with computers.
Yeah.
Here's what I've seen. It's that really, isn't it? From that point of view. I think a lot of jobs going forward, I don't think degrees are going to be the thing. Certainly in the sports science world. It's yeah, I don't want to say irrelevant, but irrelevant.
That's the thing. Like in terms of practical application, and essentially, if you were to put this in really blunt terms, with just he's coming to me to do this, right? So how much is uni? Like $9,000 a year?
Yeah, and that's subsidized. Don't forget.
None of that's subsidized, right? So in theory, I'm going to charge a third of that for the whole year, and we're going to go through pretty much your whole syllabus. And I'm going to be like, look, this is what you're going to see on a coaching aspect, one-to-one, and go bosh, bosh, bosh. Yes, I'm not going to have as much contact time with you, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have a little bit better result, possibly in a practice. I'm not going to be able to give you a certificate. I'm not going to be able to give you your ABSc after the thing. But from a one-to-one, I'm not saying my mentorship or any mentorship out there is as good as a university degree yet, but I bet some of them are. I bet if I were to spend 3 years at Mike Boyle S&C and learn underneath there compared to 3 years in fucking AV, the difference in quality of coach, person, critically think, not even fucking close, would it? It wouldn't be. I spent fucking like a week there, and I managed to, obviously I had like a bit of critical thinking and being able to go different things. I learned a shit ton of stuff about systemizing, how to like run a fucking gym, all that kind of stuff in terms of a business point of view. That doesn't even get fucking touched upon in our stuff, right? In terms of sports science, that could be a legitimate place that you go to, but that's a completely separate degree for 3 years called sports management. That's insane. Like, I reckon you could spend 3 months working underneath Kevin Carr to work out the practical application of how he runs his online business and like how he does all that kind of stuff and doing all systemized and like, what software do they use and doing all that and get your head around it. Suddenly you can be a business owner, and you don't have to run into the circle a university that you have to work for someone. So you're a salaried employee and not a business owner, which is super interesting, because I was exactly the same when I was talking to this lad, and I was just like, what do you want to be? Like, do you want to be like interpersonal training and I can help you get online clients or clients in person and we can go from there? Or do you want to train teams? Because if you want to go train teams in sports, I'm probably not the guy that's going to help you with that, because that's not the avenue. I wanted to move out of that. I can get you into private ones, possibly, because we know how to do that, but it's going to be a bit different. Yeah, and obviously I've had the lucky space, and not many people. Without me being an employee at Third Space, I wouldn't have had the facility of doing all of these education courses and being able to go into certain things, and go do that. So yeah, it's a real tricky one because for one thing, classical education will always gatekeep, but they gatekeep because they're scared of like mentorships and private practice just killing it, I think, and taking over. So because the biggest one for us is UKCA and the CSCS, right?
Yeah.
You have to have a degree to do it, and you're like, what? I know loads of coaches that would fucking smash some of those things. And like, we know the UKSA. I refused to do my UKSA because I was like, well, I don't need it. Like, they're like, what? I was like, I don't want to go work with Olympic athletes. And you gatekeep it by saying you have to have a master's degree to earn £24,000 a year. What? Are you insane? It's like the barista at fucking Costa earns more than that. And I've got to do 400 hours of whatever, do this, and then I've got to do. I was like, no, not for the love, not for the avenue of it being me getting more money. Yeah, we're not all money driven, but guess what? We want to earn more so I can have a better life, so I can play golf with Dan. So yeah, it's insane.
I think
Absolutely
as well,
insane.
like with that, I also thought that there would be a lot of job satisfaction that comes with working with that high level. But what you actually realize is there's more job satisfaction actually helping someone that wants to be helped than feeling like you're a very, very small part of a bigger thing when it comes to a team, and actually not appreciated, actually discarded whenever they don't feel like you're relevant anymore, and all that sort of stuff. Like I think you can feel very I don't want to say like I don't know what proper word is really, but like inconsequential. You can feel very like that you're just not really part of anything. Whereas when you work with PT, you get someone sometimes say you've changed their life, and you're like, that's a pretty cool feeling. And I just think that it's really put on a pedestal. The whole like what you can achieve after uni. Like no one's ever asked me to see my uni certificate ever. Not a single person has bothered with that. And it's same with qualifications and things. I know that when people are coming up, they say it's who you know, not what you know. But there is a part of me that does wish, not that my parents were more clued up, because I don't think it's never their fault. But I wish I realized what the world was like a little bit sooner than I did, where I realized it was like, it's who you know, none of this what you know shit. And I don't think it would have changed whether I went to uni or not, but I think it's certainly the speed at which I left football was because I got to that realization very quickly.
Yeah.
From that. And again, same from working in London to a certain degree and kind of realizing that networking and speaking to people and having them like you was a pretty important factor in you getting ahead in life. Like I got, as you know, I know through Doug, I got a pretty fucking epic client that really helped me in my life going forward. And like you just go just from people that you know. And I never would have got any experience like that in working in football. And we know well, somewhat on a personal level, we know of people who, again, have worked in the gym, had one good connection and made a fucking career out of it for themselves in terms of training who they train. Just wouldn't have had the same level of input if they worked in football in a club. Just wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And I think that is the way it's going now, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Super interesting. But yeah, raise an interesting topic. And I think we can be fairly, this is one of the things we could actually be fairly unbiased on because we've lived in both worlds and gone through the process. Don't know. Obviously, we did our degrees 10, 12 years ago now, but I can't imagine it's changed that much. Looking by like what this lad was saying to me. So I was like,
well, the problem with unis is that the only reason they're there and the only reason they're funded and need people is because they can carry on doing their research. And you kind of go, that's all they're really there for. So of course they're going to be big on the research in their degrees and in dissertations because that's what you're doing. That's what you're there for.
Yeah.
I just feel like people are being ripped off. I feel like if it was a product that was sold, it would.
Could you imagine?
Be very well reviewed.
You'd be like, what?
And get a lot for this. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, because I think alongside it, because you got the going out, you got the living on your own, living with mates, you got all that. That's the bit that I think you get out. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah. I've got some lifetime lifetime mates out of it, basically, that you can always like lean on and stuff like that, which is fantastic. Yeah. And so
you just don't need to spend all that money to do it, really.
Well, I don't know, like 45 Jaeger bombs just lined up. That was one good night in Tiger. Very sad day when Tiger closed down about a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
That was one of our nights out. If you were in
Yeah.
Tiger Mondays in London, probably between the years of 2010 to 2012, you would have seen us. We were clearly really cool. I had long hair. You knew
I
me.
bet you
Did
did,
I have
mate.
long hair at third base?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I had longer hair. And I think it gradually got shorter and shorter and shorter, didn't it? All good. All right, mate. Lovely. Oh, an insightful topic. All right, let's switch on to something less insightful, but I want to moan about it as well. Probably not from the avenue of a bunch of like, I don't know, gatekeepers. Don't like gatekeepers. Jake Paul
Really?
versus Mike Tyson. Mm.
Oh, I can't believe that some people thought that it was going to be a genuine fight. Like, I just can't believe that people were like, "Oh my God, that was so rigged." I was like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, yeah."
yeah.
And sorry, did you not know that?
What
Couldn't
I
believe it.
I really disliked was the uppity nature of boxing. Going, this is awful for boxing. Like this is like, this is making boxing seem awful. It's like, hello, boxing has no like it's one possible not one of the worst sports. That's an awful thing to say. It's one of the most tarnished sports in terms of what it does anyway. It's two people fighting each other. I was like, that's what their whole thing. And there's a lot of shit that goes on in the background. They're generally not fantastic characters. And I was like, how is this tarnishing the world of boxing? Number one, it's just an entertainment thing.
Yeah.
If two lads want to fight each other and you want to pay to watch it and they sell it, for all be them. Like fucking hell, who gives a shit? Like let them crack on. Like Mike
Mm.
Tyson's made 10 million from it. Jake Paul's made between 30 and 40 million from it, and they've sold it to you and you've decided to watch it, why is that any different from anything else? Like, and I don't understand just because they use boxing the medium of what they wanted to do. I love Mike Tyson was like, I don't care about my legacy. Fuck it. I need the money now. Why is going to be dead? Like, I'm going to be
Yeah.
dead soon. And he's like, need some more money. Like, so yeah, what the fuck? I didn't really understand it. I'm like, the kind of gatekeeping nature. Look at golf. Like when Rory and whomever and like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, more people watch that than a fucking normal PGA event. Fuck it. It's
Hmm.
fine. Of course they would, because they're selling a product that people want to watch. And Jake Paul's obviously done incredible. I've never watched one of his YouTube videos, but he's obviously done very
No.
good on YouTube, and he's obviously a very good content creator and knows the fuck people want to watch. So,
Mhm.
and he was very smart, and he knew not to do it on pay-per-view. He knew to
Yeah.
sell it to Netflix because the numbers, guess what, would be fucking terrible if he did it to pay-per-view, and he probably doesn't want to hurt his ego. So sell it to Netflix. It was their first ever live event, apparently. But apparently a lot of stuff went wrong. They didn't stream it very well. So, and they've got, I think their next like big streaming sports are going to be the NFL on Christmas Day. So that'd be interesting. They've probably got to sort that out. Here's another
Wow.
thing. Netflix never. They always said they're obviously a disruptor. They said they would never do kind of live TV. They've changed now. They're going to do
Yeah.
terrestrial live TV and live streams because sports is basically the one thing that people still watch live only. Nothing else. So really interesting. Yeah, I didn't really
The thing is, they've
understand
got the
it.
budget. They've got the budget to be able to do it,
Yeah,
and the reason I think that it will take off more on Netflix versus like Amazon Prime or whatever is that people use Netflix all the time for TV. It's what you use it for. Whereas
yeah,
with Amazon stuff, you're not watching Amazon Prime as often as you're watching Netflix, and it's just part of like life now with Netflix and the way that it's like embedded in TVs. And I just feel like they get that right, there'll be a way that they could really open up some. I'm talking like, let's say, for example, that they decided to, NBA games, for example, and they decided to go for certain teams. They could be in charge of like what teams they might show more of, less of. For example, like this good angle there they've got with it. It depends on how far they go with it, I suppose. But yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I didn't. It was an odd fit. I didn't watch any of it. Doesn't interest me.
It
Who?
was. I was literally. I mean, it was
Who?
like. I think it was like Saturday morning, wasn't it, or something daft? It was like literally, and was. I was. And Netflix. I had it. Isabel had it on, and I was like, I'll be interested just to see it. But I'm not a boxing fan. I don't care about boxing.
No.
I just thought it was interesting to watch. I just couldn't believe people thought that it was going to be anything other than fucking staged. Fucking
Yeah,
awful.
Of course it was. Like, did Mike Tyson only throw like 7, 8 punches or something like that in the old thing?
I just don't care. Like, I just think.
Because they were saying I heard some people talking about it, and they were like, "Of course, Mike Tyson was going to do it. Like, he's going to go up in a fight against somebody who's actually probably not very good, and he's just like he gets to take a couple of punches, and he gets 10 million out of it. Of course, he's going to do
Yeah.
it, and he doesn't care about legacy. Like, he didn't care about any of that. Like, he's insane. He has a marijuana farm that all of his shares he knew what he was doing because all of his shares and stuff has gone up from his marijuana farm now. So everything he owned is jumped up because he's in the public eye again. Yeah, of course it is. It's like, all right, he knew what he was doing. He wanted his other businesses because he'd been losing money to climb because of the publicity he's got. Shock.
Yeah.
Might
having to do that. Fucking hell, like.
Would you do it?
I put that on my Instagram.
Yeah,
I just put that. I was like, fucking hell, like, if it's taught me one thing, mate, is to fucking make sure I'm smart with my money so I don't have to fucking end up doing that.
Yeah.
58.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. It's just a bit embarrassing as well, I think.
It's a bit odd, isn't it? It's a bit
I know what you're saying about legacy and stuff, but it's just like he's one of the greatest fighters ever, and he's reduced to that. Do you know?
Yeah.
It's a bit sad, really. But
oh well. Oh well. Yeah, it's all right. Me and you aren't going to be fighting. Nobody watch that anyway.
Well, we'll be fighting on the golf course when we're 60, mate. That's what we'll be doing. Fuck you know. Don't you worry about that. Taking 7 shots to get into a par 5.
I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was like, how long am I going to be able to hang on to my length in golf? I was like, oh, I hope I'm not going.
Well, I think I saw Podrick Harrington the other day. He's 50s, right? He's early 50s, and he was still driving it 290, I believe, in the Masters thing that I watched. So,
but he can hit the center of the club. That doesn't happen often to me. Like most of it around it. So that's the issue. Yeah. So that might heel.
That's where I might actually start to outdrive you then, because I can hit the middle of it. So that's fine.
My heel, if I can hit the middle, fucking send it, mate. But the heel of my club gets used quite a lot. So yeah,
see Podrick Harrington because I'm sure he's 53, yeah. So you see, I think you're all right. I think it's around that time though.
Well, I'm thinking because Phil Mickelson can still pump it, right? And he's still playing competitively, and like he's up there, so he still bombs it over 300. He's a big old lefty, and obviously, like I'd hope with my physicality, possibly my power, I think I can hit. I'm probably more powerful than most golfers currently. Going out with him.
No, Podrick Harrington, 2023. Podrick Harrington is now driving the ball further than ever, topping the tour's driving stats last season with an average of 308 yards. That's obviously the Masters Tour, not the PGA Tour. Masters Tour. 308.
Pretty good, mate.
So, mate, you got no excuses. It can be done. Let's not. US Senior Open, yeah. He's basically smashed it, hasn't he, the Senior Open?
Yeah, I bet.
So look at the stats. Let me find the stats. I'll find the stats, mate. PGA Senior Tour drive in distance. There we go. Must be something come up here. Golf stats and records, PGA Tour. Oh, here we go. Okay. Overview. Finishes driving distance. He is the furthest, to be fair. Yeah. Some of these guys, let's look at some of these ages. Yeah, all near 300. Cameron Percy. How old's Cameron Percy? Don't know who he is. 50. So we're all right, mate. We've got a little bit of time.
A little bit of time.
Got 15 years, I reckon. 55, Ricardo Gonzalez, 55, driving it to 298.
That's pretty good. Fuck no.
Yeah. So there we go, mate. I think we're all right. All right. Just make sure we keep training.
Just to keep playing. Be fine.
Keep loose. And we'll be sound, mate. Retief Goosen still at 293. I mean, he's got to be nearly 60. 55, yeah.
55.
Right. Or Ernie Els. Because he was never a big driver anyway, Ernie Els, but he's 291.
Did you see like Bernard Langer? Like shot his age, like I think his age or better. He like again. I think did he shoot like 67 or something like 3 rounds of 67 or 68?
Wow.
All right. Yeah.
Darren Clark's 56, 295. Mate, come on. I'm not having any excuses. Anymore.
Where's your excuse? You can't drive that long now, mate. So what's going on?
Behave, mate. Miguel Angel Jimenez, 60. He's 60. How far do you think he drives it now?
He's a slinger. He is like
284.
284. Pumping. Average. You could probably step on one. Yeah.
Yeah, the tour average is 280 and the beat in the senior tour.
Right. Good.
Poor old Fred Funk, 244. 68, that's why. He's 68, to be fair.
Fucking hell.
68, though, he's still 244. That's not like horrendous. For 68, I wouldn't have thought you'd be anywhere near that. So there you go. A little bit of an insight, guys, into what our golf future looks like.
Very sad, wasn't it? It's like, yeah. All right, guys. Any other business, Daniel?
Not for me, no.
No, not from me either. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you. What are we doing a pod next week? You're in.
Yeah, I can't do it next week. I'll be busy.
Fucking hell.
So in 2 weeks' time, Tom will have done all of his events for his fucking thing he's done, his cardio, and we'll be able to recap that.
It's cardio. Hey, that's not cardio. It's fucking death. All right, guys. Catch you in a couple of weeks.
See you later.